Welcome back, friends. It's going to be a pretty quick video today because we are just taking a look at a Jakks Red Koopa Troopa. Yep, so packaging for this guy is just what we've seen with Jakks before. Got a nice render of Mario and the Super Mario logo back there, and they cut around Mario's little render there, and Red Koopa Troopa is his name. They even found a little way to put it on the sides so you can find him on the pegs quite easily. On the back, it tells us he has 5 points of articulation, which is not true. I can tell just from looking at the photo that he's got way more. And there are some other figures in the wave. I already reviewed Kamek, Luigi, Fire Mario I've had for a long time. Maybe I'll get a Hammer Bro eventually. Anyways, just rip the package open to get him out. Pull out that tray. His little accessory is just a coin. It's plain, it's plastic. Nothing really to say about it. I mean, it's fine. He can't hold it, so we're just gonna throw it aside. And then the Koopa himself just pops on out, and there he is. Now this Red Koopa Troopa release, he's pretty cool because he's got a neck that's articulated as more than just a swivel, which, you know, I've been buying Koopalings mostly, and I haven't seen anything quite this impressive. He actually can look down, and I mean, can't really look up, but hey, he can look down, and he can swivel all the way around, and that's a good start. And while we're at it, let's look at the rest of articulation, because the neck is 1, and he's got hinge and swivel shoulders, and then hinged elbows, and then swivel wrists, so that's 3 on that arm. 3 on that arm as well. That's already 6. And then the neck is 7. So the back of the packaging is already wrong, Jakks. But, you know, I've said this before. He's got hinge and swivel hips. Now, they hinge outward, which is unfortunate because he can't move his leg forward, really, which is a poor design choice, honestly. But, you know, what we can do is maybe we can swivel it. No, not really. Maybe that one's a little stuck. Well, maybe they're both kind of stuck. Well, the wrists, the hips hinge outward. So, I mean, that's still 2 more points of articulation. And then he swivels at the knee instead of bending at the knee, which, you know, I guess, like, the limbs are kind of small. They didn't want to put that in there. But, you know, they did it at the elbows, and the elbows are not, they're not that durable looking. Let's just leave it at that. Now get this. Yes, he swivels at the knees there, but he also swivels at the tops of the boots. And if you pull on it there, you can see it's not just a swivel, it's a hinge. But, you know, honestly, like the hinge, it don't really work. So it's kind of like just a swivel. But you know what that means? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13 points of articulation, not 11. Wow, Jakks. Wow. Anywho, pretty good articulation for a figure at this scale. Now, if we move on to the sculpt, not too much to say about it. He's got sculpted lines on his little tummy in the front, and the lines on the back of the shell are sculpted, not just painted on. They're painted in those cracks, and the paint is very clean for the most part. I mean, it's impressive how there's no real slop with the black lines. Even where the red meets the white, it is very, very clean. Up at the face, his eyes are just decals. They're green, they look nice, they're glossy, they look pretty good. The whites of the eyes are painted on pretty well for this price point. I mean, you know, they're not perfect, like you can see. It's kind of a hazy line where the white meets the yellow, but pretty good, all things considered. I like the sculpt of the little hookbill nose. Like, remember like Hookbill Koopa in Yoshi's Island? Like, yeah, it's got the little beak sculpted in there. Shoes look nice and shiny. Even colored on the bottom. They could have like probably gotten away with making the whole shoe red, but they did that little trim at the edge. Very, very nice sculpt and paint. He is looking pretty good. Now for the scale, our Koopa Troopa stands at about 3.5 inches tall, or 8.5 centimeters. Here he is with Koopaling and Bowser Jr. from the same line. And the king of the Koopas himself, Bowser. And while we're at it, why don't we throw his enemy Mario in there for good measure. Now, do I ultimately recommend the Red Koopa Troopa from Jakks to add to your Super Mario collection, friends? Well, kinda. I mean, yes and no. This guy's really good as like an army builder. He's not really an amazing figure in and of himself, you know? Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the sculpt or the paint, but there are some bad choices in articulation, and his accessory is pretty weak sauce, honestly. But he is well executed for what he's attempting to be. So you could go out and get him if you want to add an army of Koopas to your Mario collection, but he's not really an essential character on the list of Mario characters out there to get. Until next time, peace out, YouTube!